everybody, welcome to another Yarn Scrap Friday with me, Laura, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to make this brick stitch little either pencil holder or pen holder or even a crochet hook holder. So let's begin. And the great thing about this pattern is that it's quite sturdy, so it stands up really well, and you can put all your crochet hooks in there, add another one in there, or you can of course put your pens in there too. It's entirely up to you. But we're going to make it a little bit more interesting because we're going to be using the sort of a brick stitch, raised brick stitch effect. So using some front post stitches and back post stitches. So if you're not used to the front post and back post stitches, then I do recommend checking out my beginner tutorials, but hopefully you'll still be able to follow along if you can't be bothered to go and find them. So first thing we're going to do is we are going to be using a super chunky, or you can use chunky yarn as well. So a super chunky, super bulky yarn is best, but you can use a chunky or bulky yarn as well. And I'm going to make some in this kind of peachy colour now this time. And with that, we are going to be using, and I've completely just lost it now, these crochet hooks. We're going to be using a 6mm J crochet hook. So quite a big crochet hook to go with our super chunky yarn. And it's also a good idea to have a pair of scissors and a yarn tapestry needle as well. So that's one with a big eye at the end. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our yarn and we're going to do a little slip knot. We're going to start off with a chain 4 loop. You can use a magic circle, magic loop technique as well if you prefer. So we're going to do a slip knot and then we're going to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so we're going to chain 4. We're going to put our hook into our first chain. So find your first chain, put your hook into there, bring the yarn through the first chain and bring it straight through the loop on your hook as well. And that joins your 4 chains into a loop. If I can get my hook back in. That makes a little loop of your chains, and in the middle is a hole. Like I always say, don't confuse it with your first chain hole, which can look quite big. You need to find that center hole. But the first thing we're going to do before we work some stitches into that center hole is we're going to do a little chain 1, but don't count that as a stitch. That's just going to be for a little bit of leverage. And then what we're going to do is we're going to work 12 double crochet into the center of this loop. Now this is in US terminology, so we're going to yarn over. And a double crochet in UK terminology is a treble. So we're going to yarn over, put your hook into the center of your 4 chain loop and bring the yarn through the middle. Okay, you should see the hole gets more noticeable. And then just wrapping it around the chains, we're going to do a double crochet. Or a treble if you like UK terminology. Pull through 2, pull through 2. And we're going to do 12 of these, so that's 1. Yarn over again, go back into the middle. Bring the yarn through, pull through 2, pull through 2. Okay, so that's 2. We want 12. So 2, 3, 4, 12. Okay, so we've got 12 double crochet. Just pull that center hole. Should come in a little bit. If it doesn't, it probably means you've worked into your chain 1 by mistake. So you want 12 double crochet by the end of that round. And then what we want to do is you want to skip your tiny little chain 1, which has disappeared. Find your first proper double crochet stitch. Put your hook into there, like so. Bring the yarn through that stitch, straight for the loop on your hook to do a slip stitch. Okay, so by the end of that round you should have a stitch count of 12. And now we're going to double it up to 24. First thing we're going to do is a little chain 1. Don't count that as a stitch, that's just for a little bit of leverage. Then going back into the same stitch you just slip stitched into, we're going to do 2 double crochet. So go back into that same stitch you just slip stitched into and do 2 double crochet. So 1 and another one in the same stitch. You want 2 in there for an increase. 2 in there. We're going to do 2 double crochet into each stitch around back to the beginning, so 2 in each, 2 double crochet in each stitch until we got a stitch count of 24, so you're doubling up. So 2 double crochet in the next stitch and 2 double crochet into each stitch around. Okay, so you've got 2 in there and 2 in the next one, back to the beginning. And when you get back to the beginning, got 1 more stitch left, so 2 double crochet in there as well. 1 and another one in the same stitch. Okay, so then that's it, and then you need to find your first stitch. You need to skip your little chain 1, find that first proper double crochet stitch and put your hook into there and do a slip stitch. Bring the yarn through, straight through the loop on your hook to join the round. So I've just done 2 double crochet into each stitch around, doubling up. I've got a stitch count now of 24. Okay, so that's going to be the base of our little pot. If you want to make a bigger pot, you just make a bigger base. So this is just going to be the base. So what we're going to do now though is we're going to do a back post stitch around, a double crochet back post stitch. So the first thing we're going to do is a little chain 1, that's for our leverage, so don't count that as a stitch. And what we need to do a back post stitch is we need to work a double crochet around the previous double crochet post. So we're ignoring all these stitches at the top now. So the first thing we do is we yarn over, and you need to find the space, the 2 gaps either side of that double crochet post below. Okay, so this is just your little chain 1, you can ignore that. You need to find that first proper double crochet post. And just to the right of that is a little gap, so we're going to put our hook into that little gap there. Don't put it into the stitch there, we need to put it into the gap there. Then we're going to put it through the next gap to the left of our double crochet post, so into there. So it looks like this. So your hook's going, your post is there, like so. Then what we're going to do is going to grab our yarn and just bring it back round. So you bring it through to the front and then through the next gap as well, back to the back, like so. You got your 3 loops and you just do your double crochet as normal. So you pull through 2, pull through 2, and that's a double crochet back post stitch. Okay, so it's on the back, so you know it's a back post stitch, and these stitches here would then lie to the front, and you've wrapped the double crochet around the post. We're going to do that all the way around. We're going to do 1 double crochet back post stitch around each of these posts, double crochet posts. So the next one, we yarn over, you move over to the next one here, and we go through from the back to the right of it, and then we go over the top of it, our next stitch, for the gap to the left, back to the back, so out to the back again. Bring the yarn through, so you bring it through to the front, then back to the back, passing it over that double crochet post. And I seem to only have 2 stitches, so I've obviously lost my yarn over somewhere. So let's do that again. Make sure you got your yarn over, find that double crochet post, go from the right gap to the left gap and grab the yarn, bring it through, there we go. Sometimes you can lose this yarn over when you bring it through, so make sure you've got your 3 loops so you can do your double crochet, then do your double crochet as normal. Okay, we're going to do that all the way around, so I'm going to move on to the next one. Go through the gap from the back to the right, over to the left to the back, bring the yarn through both gaps to the back, you've got your 3 loops, do your double crochet. Okay, so that's a double crochet back post stitch. You should find these stitches here that you would normally work into sit to the front. So we want 1 double crochet back post stitch around each previous double crochet post around. Okay, back to the beginning. So yarn over, in from the right gap to the left gap, bring the yarn round, do your double crochet. Next one. because when you start off your next one, you're going, there was the left gap that you went through, now becomes your right gap. So right gap to the left gap. Bring the yarn round, do your double crochet. Right gap to the left gap. Bring the yarn round. Okay, so do that all the way around, keeping a stitch count of 24. And when you get back to the beginning, you should have, I'm on my last one now, so just do my last double crochet back post stitch. And that's it. So it looks like there's another one there, but that's our little change. You need to make sure to leave that alone. Check your stitch count is 24. Then find your first double crochet here, which is going to be sort of at an angle, 90-degree angle. And pop your crochet hook in there, bring the yarn through and do a slip stitch straight for the loop on your hook. Okay, and as you can see, what's happened is it's pushed your work to a 90-degree angle. So you've got a really nice flat bottom with a nice 90-degree angle for your pot, ready to go up to make the shape. So there we go. What we're going to do now is we're going to move on to creating the brick effect we have on this pattern. And to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to chain one, again don't count that as a stitch, yarn over and go back into the same stitch you just slip stitched into and do a double crochet. Okay, so nice normal double crochet. But then what we're going to do is we're going to do a front post stitch around this next double crochet post, front post stitch. So we've been doing back post stitches before, now we're going to do a front post stitch, which I always find front post stitches a little bit easier than back post stitches, they're less fiddly. But we're not going to be doing a double crochet front post stitch, we're going to be doing a treble crochet front post stitch. So in UK terminology, that's going to be a double treble. So to do that, instead of just yarning over once like you do for a double crochet, we're going to yarn over twice. Okay, so you've got 3 loops on your hook. And to do a front post stitch, instead of coming from the back, we're going to come from the front. So you're going to go into the right hand side. So make sure you don't go into this first double crochet post, because that was the one we've just worked that stitch into. You need to find the next one. I'm going to go from the front to the right side, round the back, out to the left side to the front. So we're keeping it over the top instead. We're going to grab the yarn and just bring that round the back to the other side, and you've got 4 loops. And whenever you do a stitch that's a double crochet or bigger, you basically yarn over, pull through 2 until you get to the end. So it's an easy way of remembering. So we're going to yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops, then yarn over, pull for the last 2 loops. Okay, and that completes a treble front post stitch, and it's wrapped around, you can see you can move it up and down the post, it's wrapped around that previous double crochet post. Then what we're going to do, we're just going to work 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches. So just to the top of that stitch, so there's, you worked that front post stitch, just to the top to the left is your next stitch. So in there we're going to do a double crochet, just 1 double crochet. Okay, we're going to do 1 double crochet in the next stitch as well. So we're just working into the stitch as normal at the top. Okay, and 1 double crochet in the next stitch as well. So we've done 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to work another treble front post stitch. So we yarn over twice, 1 and 2. The next double crochet post, and the way to know to find the next post is there's your last stitch, and the post below that belongs to that stitch. Okay, so we don't want to work around that one, we want to work around this next one. Okay, and you can see the stitch at the top is free. So we yarn over twice, and to do a front post stitch we go from the front to the back this time on the right hand side of the post, then around the back to the left hand side back to the front, because we're working front post stitches. Then grab the yarn, bring it round the back to the other side, and then we yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 to do a treble. Okay, so it looks a little something like that. Then we're going to do 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches like we did here. To find the next stitch, it's just, you find the next post that you haven't worked around and find the stitch at the top. Okay, so it's just to the top over to the left of your previous treble. Do 1 double crochet in there, 1 double crochet. We're just working into the stitch as normal rather than the gap. 1 double crochet in the next stitch and 1 double crochet in the next stitch. Okay, then we're going to do a treble front post. We yarn over twice and then we find that next treble, yarn over twice, find the next treble, we go to the next stitch along we haven't worked in, find the post below it, and we go from the front, the right hand side, over to the left, back to the front. So we're going around the back of it, through the gaps, not the stitch at the top. Grab the yarn and then pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 to complete the stitch. Then 1 double crochet in the next 3. So 1, next stitch 2, next stitch 3. Then we're going to do a treble front post. We yarn over twice, find the next stitch. Haven't worked into that one, so I know the post below is the one I want to work around. Going into the gap, not the stitch this time, from the front to the back, round to the left, back to the front. Grab the yarn, then we yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, then 1 double crochet in the next 3. Back to normal double crochets. 1, next stitch 2, next stitch 3. Then we're going to do a treble front post, so wrap the yarn around your hook twice, find the next stitch, around the next post, go from the front to the back, around the back of the post to the left hand side, grab the yarn, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. 1 double crochet in the next 3. 1, next stitch 2, next stitch 3. Then a treble front post. Oops. So yarn over twice, wrap the yarn around your hook twice rather, find the next stitch and the post below, go for the gap this time from the front to the back to the left hand side around the back of the post, grab the yarn, bring it round, the yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and that should leave you with 2 stitches. And if you can remember, we did 1 normal double crochet at the very beginning here. We did 1 normal double crochet before we did our front post stitch, so that adds up to our 3 in between, so we've got 2 left. So we do a 1 double crochet in the last 2, double crochet in there, and 1 double crochet in that last stitch. And if you haven't got 2 stitches left, then you may have just got a bit wrong somewhere, so just go back and check you've worked around the right post and into the right stitches. Then skip your tiny chain 1, find the first proper double crochet that you did, put your hook into there, do a slip stitch to join the round. It should look a little something like that, and you've got these raised trebles around the edge. Okay, so now what we're going to do is probably the most complicated rounds, I'd say, but hopefully you've got a little bit more used to doing front post and back post. And now we're going to mix it up and have front post and back post stitches in the same round. So the first thing we're going to do is a little chain 1. Do a little chain 1, don't count that as a stitch. Now, whenever we've got a normal double crochet like we have here at the beginning, we're going to do a back post stitch. We're doing double crochet, front post and back post, and no trebles at all in this round. So first thing to do is yarn over, and we've got a normal double crochet here, so we're doing a back post stitch. Whenever we do a back post, we start from the back. So you need to find the gap to the right, not the stitch at the top. The gap to the right, come from the back, because we're doing a back post stitch. then we go to the left hand gap, then we grab the yarn, bring it round back to the back, keeping your yarn over, and do a double crochet as normal. Okay, so we've done 1 double crochet back post stitch, but round our trebles we're going to do a front post stitch, but we're only doing a double crochet front post stitch. So we yarn over, and to remember to do a front post stitch, we start at the front. So, and it's quite easy, you can literally lift up this treble, you can literally lift it up and just pop it through. So you're coming from the front, you're just tucking it underneath that treble. So this is actually really easy, that's why I prefer front post stitches. You're just popping it underneath, and then grab the yarn, bring it around the back, and do a double crochet as normal. Okay, and that keeps it elongated, you see. Then around the next 3 double crochet, normal double crochets, we're doing double crochet back post stitches. So this yarn keeps rolling everywhere. I need to get it in a teapot. So yarn over, and we're doing back post stitches, double crochet back post stitches. So we start at the back. So yarn over, come from the back. Make sure to keep that yarn over. So you want to go in front of that yarn you're working with. Keeps it yarned over. Come from the back gap to the right and round to the left gap. Grab the yarn and bring it round to the back. Keeping your 3 loops, do a double crochet. That's 1 double crochet back post stitch. Then do it around the next post. Come from the back to the right, to the left. Bring it round, do a double crochet. And do 1 double crochet back post stitch around the last normal double crochet. Keeping your hook in front of that yarn, so keep that loop, that yarn over there. Come from the back to the right, ignore my tail end. Go to the left, to the back, bring the yarn round, back to the back, and do a double crochet. So we've done 3 double crochet back post stitches, and you can see it pushes these stitches forward, which is what we've created in between here. And then we've reached a treble here, so we're going to do a front post stitch, just a double crochet front post stitch now. And that's really easy, we just tuck it underneath, our hook underneath that post. Grab the yarn and do a double crochet. Then you're back to doing back post stitches. So yarn over, come from the back, right to left, around the next double crochet post. And do 1 double crochet back post stitch over the next 3. Come from the back, going for the gaps, doing double crochets as normal. And the last one, right to left, keeping it at the back. Then we've reached our treble, so we're doing a double crochet front post stitch. We just pop it underneath like so, just goes underneath. Do a front post stitch, keep that yarn at the top, do a front post stitch. Okay, so repeat that all the way around, swapping between 3 back post stitches and then 1 front post, just double crochets back to the beginning. This will be good practice on your back posts and front posts. I always find back posts harder. I think that's because it's keeping that yarn over there, so I actually hold it a little bit and make sure my hook keeps it underneath like that before I go into the stitch. Grab the yarn, do a nice little twist of the hook. And then I'm at the treble, so I'm going to do a front post stitch, just pop it underneath, just a double crochet. Then I'm doing double crochet back post stitches again. And then this is the last treble, isn't it? So pop it under there, do a double crochet front post, and that leaves me with 2 stitches left. I'm doing back posts on those because they're just normal stitches. 1 and the last one. And don't be confused by this, your chains here, you don't want to work around them at all. So you're back at the beginning, so there's your little chain one there. Find that first proper stitch there. We're going to slip stitch into there. And check your stitch count is still 24 if unsure of where you're working. Okay, so that's the end of the first set. Ignore my little tail ends, it's very old yarn. That's the end of the first set direction, and then we're going to alternate doing exactly the same thing, but we're going to alternate so that this treble sits in the middle rather than on top. You can do it on top if you want to in the same way, but I've alternated it so it looks more like little bricks. And to do that, we're going to do a little chain one at the beginning, do a double crochet in the first same stitch you just slip stitched into, do a double crochet in there, and then we're going to do a double crochet in the next 2 stitches as well. So that's going to be in the top of our treble. Normal double crochet in that normal top stitch, next stitch, and then a normal double crochet in the next stitch as well. Just going into that stitch as normal at the top. Okay, so we've done our 3 double crochets, our normal double crochets, straight away this time, whereas the last time we just did 1 before we did our crazy treble. This time we're going to do the 3 straight away, which then brings us to the middle here, and you've got these 3 stitches here. See these 3 posts there? 1, 2, 3. We've already worked into this stitch off this post, and you can see there's our stitch worked into the top stitch of this post. So this next post, which is going to be in the middle of our 3, we're going to work that treble front post stitch that we did here. So treble, we yarn over twice, okay, and we're doing a front post stitch, so we start at the front. So we go around this middle one, we go from the right hand side, from the front, to the left hand side, back to the front. Then we're going to bring the yarn round the back to the front. You should have 4 loops. And then if you remember, we just yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 until we get to the end. And we've done a treble front post stitch. Then we're going to work 1 double crochet in the next 3. So find the next stitch, which is just going to be, there's our post we've just worked around. The stitch will be the next stitch will be just to the left of that. Okay, we'll do 1 double crochet, normal double crochets. 1 double crochet in the next 3, so 1, next stitch 2, next stitch 3. Okay, this ball's crazy. Then we're going to do a front post treble, so we yarn over twice, wrap the yarn around a hook twice, find that center double crochet post, start from the front because we're doing a front post, just wrapping it around the back. Come to the left, grab the yarn, bring it round, and then if you remember, we just yarn over, pull through 2 until we get to the end. Then 1 double crochet in the next 3. Don't miss that first stitch, which is just to the left, the one you've worked. 1, normal double crochets, 1, next stitch 2, oops, next stitch 3. So exactly the same as what we did before on that, so second round, wasn't it? We did after our first lots of double crochet posts here. It's exactly the same, but we're just alternating it instead. And we do another treble front post around that center double crochet. Pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. Then 1 double crochet in the next 3. 1, 2, 3. So we just repeat that all the way round. 1, 2, 3. Then we do our treble front post around that center post. Okay, don't go into stitch, remember to go around the post. Bring the yarn around, do a treble, so we pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. Then 1 double crochet in the next 3. Don't miss that first stitch. Just working into the stitch as normal. 1, 2, 3. Then almost back to the beginning, we'll do a treble front post around that center post, double crochet. Pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. 1 double crochet in the next 3, 1, 2, 3. So 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches as normal, and then we're going to finish up. As you can see, our 3 become a bit distorted towards the end. We've got 2 here and our third one's over here. So it's actually going to be wrapping this treble front post around the very last double crochet post. You've got 2 left, so it's this second one, which is technically the middle one. Do your normal front post treble around there. And that's because that's the last stitch you've worked around. We've finished that round. We find the first, skip the little chain one, find that first proper double crochet and slip stitch into there. Okay, so you're ending on that treble front post. Okay, which looks a little something like that. Now we're going to do a similar thing to the second to last round we just done. Okay, where we mix up double crochet, just double crochets, no trebles, front post and back post stitches. Okay, so first thing to do is chain one. We always chain one at the beginning. Now what we've got here is we've got towards the end, you've got a normal double crochet there. You've got your treble front post, which was your last stitch. So the first stitches you're going to have are 3 normal double crochets. And if you remember when I said there's normal double crochets on these second rounds of these sets, we do back post stitches. Okay, so we're going to do double crochet stitches all around, but they're going to be starting off with back post. So yarn over just once. And we're doing back post stitches around these normal double crochets. So we start from the back, come through the gap in between your little chains and that first post, and go to the left, back to the back, bring it round to the back, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 to do a normal double crochet, and do a double crochet back post around the next double crochet, and a double crochet back post stitch around the next normal double crochet. And then you should reach your treble. Okay, there's your treble in the middle. And around there we're doing a double crochet front post. We don't do a treble, we just do a double crochet front post. So we yarn over just the once. And remember, we just pop it underneath for a front post. Okay, and do a normal double crochet. And just repeat that all the way around. Now we're back to our 3 double crochets. So we do 1 double crochet back post stitch around those. So we start from the back and go around the post. Oops. And do that. And just repeat that all the way around back to the beginning. Doing 1 double crochet back post stitch around those 3 normal double crochets. And then when you reach your treble front post, we do 1 double crochet front post. Okay, so we've done our back post. Now we've got our treble. We do a double crochet front post, just wrapping it underneath. Okay. So repeat that all the way around, back to my back post. Okay, it's just coming up to the end. I'm just on my last back post. And if you remember from the last round, we ended on that treble front post. So I'm just going to end on doing a double crochet front post around there. And then I'm at the end. So I'm going to slip stitch into my first proper stitch, which is there, to join the round. And that's the end of our second set. So these sets are exactly the same. These 2 rows here are the same as these 2 rows here, but I've alternated them so that the treble front post sits in between. And now this time we want to match it up with this one here. So all we do is we just repeat these 2 rounds here. And so we start off with a chain 1. And what we do is we start, what do we do for, I can't remember what we do. We start off with 1 normal double crochet in the same stitch we just slip stitched into. So we just do that 1 this time instead of the 3. 1 normal double crochet. And then around, you can see 1, 2, 3. We need to work around that middle one. So we're going to do a treble. It's the only time we do a treble front post. So we start at the front, go around that center double crochet, and do your treble. And you just repeat the same 2 rows, and then we do 1 normal double crochet in the next 3 stitches. So 1, the second one should always sit on top of that treble, 2, and 3. Then we do our treble front post around that center 1, 2, 3. So find that center one, and it should line up with this one down here from the very beginning, and do a treble front post. And just repeat these 2 sets until you're happy with the height. So then 1 double crochet in the next 3. So on and so forth. So I'm going to do it, just finish off another set. So I'm going to finish off this round and then do another round of the back posts and the front posts, just like we did on this last round. And then I'll come back and show you the finished little pot. Okay, so I'll treble and then 1 double crochet in the next 3. So for this round, you end up with the 2 double crochets at the end rather than the treble front post. There's my last treble, then I end up with just 2 stitches, 2 normal double crochets at the end. And then I'm going to slip stitch into my first double crochet that I did. And then we need to do our finishing round of this set, which is the double crochet front post and back post. So we chain 1, and the first thing we've got is a normal double crochet, and around a normal double crochet we do a double crochet back post stitch. So slip that in between those chains and post. So that's a normal double crochet, and then I've got my treble, so I do a double crochet front post, and so on and so forth. So just finish this round, then I'm back. I've got normal double crochet, so I do 1 double crochet back post. So hopefully you've got the gist of the pattern, and hopefully you've managed to figure this out and follow along. It should get easier the more you do, if you remember it as you remember the pattern. So I'm just going to finish this round, and then I'll come back and show you the finished pot. Okay. So for this round I'd end on, I've got 2 normal double crochets left, so I end on doing double crochet back posts at the end of this round rather than a front post. And that completes this next set, which is the same as the first set. And then I just slip stitch into that first normal double crochet, like so. And you can see it's alternated as the same as this first set here, and then I would go back to doing this set alternating. So I would start off with doing 1 double crochet in the first 3 that time, so then I can do my treble front post around this center one, and so on and so forth. So there we go. So I'm just going to cut my yarn and sew in my ends. So finish there, bring that through, going to get a yarn needle, thread that on. This is really thick yarn actually. I'm just going to sew into the same stitch I slip stitched into to the back, pull that through, turn it just slightly inside out, sew down, and then that should probably do actually, it's quite stiff. Like I said, this pattern works best with a chunky or a super chunky. Super chunky is even better. I think this is actually a chunky yarn I've just used here. But if you use a nice chunky, super bulky, or just bulky, it'll stand up really well, and then you can pop in your hooks, pens, or whatever you want to as a perfect little desk tidy. So there we go. So I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. Hope you managed to follow along, and like I always say, I will see you soon for some more crochet fun. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.